In the arid landscape of ancient Mesopotamia around 2000 BCE, God reaffirms his covenant with Abraham, promising that his wife Sarah, despite being 90 years old, will bear a son named Isaac. This divine message, delivered by a mysterious visitor, Genesis 18:10, underscores God's power to fulfill promises beyond human logic. Abraham's tent, woven from goat hair and lit by oil lamps, becomes sacred ground as Sarah listens in disbelief. Archaeologists note such tents were typical of nomadic patriarchs, with clay jars and wool rugs lining the interior. The scene captures a pivotal moment, human doubt meeting divine certainty. Hidden behind the tent's woolen flaps, Sarah laughs silently at the absurdity of bearing a child in her old age. Genesis 18:12. Her wrinkled face, framed by a faded shawl, reflects centuries of cultural stigma around barrenness. God's rhetorical question, "Why did Sarah laugh?" challenges not just her faith, but the limits of human imagination. Textual scholars highlight that the Hebrew word for laugh, tzahak, later becomes Isaac's name, Yitzhak, turning irony into destiny. This intimate moment, lit by flickering firelight, contrasts divine omniscience with mortal fragility. 1 year later, Sarah holds newborn Isaac, his name eternally commemorating her laughter turned to joy. Genesis 21:6-7. The dawnlight filters through the tent seams as Abraham weeps, grasping his son's tiny hand, circumcised on the 8th day per God's covenant. Genesis 21:4. Midrashic texts describe Sarah's milk miraculously flowing despite her age, a detail echoed in the scene's focus on her nursing. Outside, servants celebrate with tambourines, their cheers echoing across the desert. This moment, rich with sensory details, warm goat's milk, dusty air, and frankincense, marks the tangible fulfillment of divine promise. At Isaac's weaning feast, a lavish spread of roasted lamb, figs, and barley bread signals his status as covenant heir. Genesis 21:8. Sarah, now laughing openly, presents Isaac to the clan, a stark contrast to her earlier doubt. Yet tension lurks. Hagar and Ishmael linger at the feast's edges, soon to be exiled. Genesis 21:9-10. The scene's composition mirrors this duality: warm firelight on Isaac's face versus shadows engulfing Ishmael. Historians note such feasts lasted days, cementing social bonds. Here, joy and future strife intertwine, foreshadowing Judaism and Islam's divergent paths through these half-brothers.